Hey everyone, welcome to Critical Hit.
It's the only show on the internet.
Called Critical Hit.
I mean, that's...
Both of those things were a lie.
Yeah.
This is the best one called Critical Hit, though. It's not about anything stupid. I have no idea what the other ones talk about.
I know that I was looking at the other ones that were on YouTube, at least, and one of them was like, hey, we're going to talk about Studio Ghibli movies. Hey, we're going to talk about Captain America. Hey, we're going to do all these cool movie reviews.
I am totally going to talk about Studio Ghibli movies in the future. That's on my list of things.
Something about them finally closing shop, huh?
Possibly, yeah. Sad stuff.
Yeah.
But we are determined to be the best Critical Hit podcast, no matter what the other people try.
I mean, we're already a step ahead of them because we are actually the best.
Oh yeah, you're right. Mission accomplished, right?
We just need to be a little bit more famous.
Mm-hmm, just a little. It's June 10th, 2015.
And I deeply apologize for the fact that we haven't made anything significant in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we're still working on hammering a schedule together, but once we do, we're going to be consistent as hell because we know how important that is to you people.
So, June 10th. It's the beginning of convention season.
Yeah, and today's topic, we're going to be talking about convention etiquette. And I don't mean convention survival tips, which I'm sure you can find an abundance of from other people and articles, and I can even link to some, maybe in the description below.
Right, but that's not us.
That's not us. We're talking about how not to be a dick at a convention. And I know that's been done before too, but...
We need to really hammer home the fact that you're going to a convention that's being held by someone else. You are not the owner of this convention. You're not the only person at this convention. You need to know how to act when there are other people around.
Yeah, and Dan and I have been regular congoers, we've been panelists, and we've worked Artist Alley, so we come from 3 different perspectives of receiving rude behavior.
And I've actually been in dealers' halls.
Oh yeah, you should talk about that. That's never been my experience, and I don't want it to be.
I mean, I haven't done dealers' halls in, like, Kineticon or Otakon or anything like that, but other kinds of conventions where we have been the dealers.
Yeah, you've been... Dan and his family, they deal for board game cons and stuff, right?
Yeah, primarily historical miniatures, war games, things like that.
Mm-hmm, so they're a little bit more chill than the anime cons and the video game cons. I don't know how much rude behavior experience you have.
You know, actually, it's not a lot, because the people who go to this convention, or these conventions, they're usually, like, old and not really interested in anything other than their game, and so they're like, hey, I want this thing. Oh, you don't have this thing? Oh, okay.
Being old doesn't guarantee politeness. As
old gamers, though.
I don't know. Well,
it's not like old white Republicans, but
when we were at PhilCon, can we edit in like some lightning striking every time I say that word?
You mean like Frau Blucher?
Yes, exactly like that, with an upset horse. PhilCon, which is quite possibly the worst convention anyone could have ever gone to, and also one of the oldest. It's just full of old people. Everybody who goes there is really old.
Yeah, but that's like retirement home old.
Yeah, it was a dead con. There were people kind of just shuffling from one table to another and then off to their graves, it felt like. And a couple of them approached us at the table we were at and were like, "Is this all you got?"
Yes,
that's all
we
you
do
see,
art,
right? And then they would just shuffle off again, and that's rude as fuck.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's start with the Artist Alley.
You want to start with Artist Alley rules?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Since we're already there.
By the way, we are going to be at conventions coming up, and we will be at the Artist Alley in all of them, starting with Anime Next, which may or may not have happened by the time you listen to this. It's
I hope not.
It's June 12th through the 14th. If you're local to New Jersey, you should definitely go. I'm sure they still have tickets. What's next?
After that is the best con.
Kineticon. In Hartford, Connecticut. It is an awesome con. It's ranked... What number is it?
16th out of 100.
16th out of 100 for American geeky conventions.
Well, I mean, I think the other ones that got better ratings were mostly because they were popular.
Yeah, I mean, Otakon and Anime Expo have their problems.
Yeah.
Speaking of which...
Kineticon has their problems too, but
Yeah.
We'll leave that to other people.
The
Anyway,
last one we will be at will be Otakon.
yeah.
Which has not yet sold out. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. And I believe it's July 24th.
Yes, it's the last weekend in July.
Yeah, and Kineticon is the weekend before that.
No, it's the weekend before that.
Oh, right. It's 2 weeks before that. My bad.
Because I'm going to be doing a convention in between, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy season for all of us.
Yep.
But you can check out our table. We won't be labeled as Critical Hit. We'll be labeled as Gay Breakfast. That's the name of our artist group. And you can meet me and Dan and my wife and some other random people.
Probably Carl,
Or
if he's
Kat.
around.
Yeah. Carl, you know, Uncle Yo, if anybody's ever heard of him before, I hope you have.
As far as I'm aware, I think the Sister Claire gals are going to be at Kineticon, too.
Yeah, I thought they were.
Well, they were running into a lot of issues with the online media guest part of the convention.
Oh, well, I guess we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, they just got an email back yesterday saying that they have a hotel room.
Oh, cool.
Like, up to this point, they're like, hey, are we coming back to the convention? Are you inviting us as online media guests? And they didn't get any response other than send us a picture for the website.
Well, they've been pretty busy over there, so...
Yeah, but, like, how hard is it to send one email?
I couldn't tell you. That's not my department. I do
know.
staff Kineticon. We
Our
staff
department, panels department, is super rad.
Yeah, we're the best department.
We are the best department.
Objectively. If you're working for Kineticon and you hear me right now,
Fight
I'm
me.
still right. Fight me.
Meet me in the pit. So.
Yeah, anyway, speaking of Sister Claire, they also sell at Artist Alley.
Yep.
And I'm sure they've been on the receiving end of a lot of nonsense from Artist Alley customers as well.
Oh, I'm sure. So if you're in the Artist Alley, you're obviously there to see all the really cool art that's there and maybe check out an artist that you wanted to see for a long time.
Yeah. If you're just there to browse, that's fine. You don't have to spend money.
Right. And we're not expecting you to spend money. We just would like it if you did.
You were just really hoping. Desperately hoping as you're complimenting us. Our eyes are pleading. Please reach into your pocket. Please ask me how much something is.
Just give me your money. I want it.
But if you don't buy something, then we're chill.
Right. We'll be happy to talk with you. So, if you're at an artist's table, there are a couple of things that you should and should not do. Number one, in my opinion, the absolutely biggest thing you should not do at an artist's table is take pictures of their art.
Oh my god, yeah, that should be common sense.
You'd think, but people still try and do it all the time.
If you really, really want to take a picture, like I've had a couple people who are like, I want to buy this for somebody, but I just want to make sure that this is the character they like or something like that. Can I take a picture? Usually, I'll say yes then.
Yeah, because, it's not going to be a high-quality photo anyway.
Even if that's your reason, don't just walk up and start photographing.
Right.
Please.
Just talk to the artist. We're people, not robots.
They don't let you take pictures in museums. They generally don't let you take pictures in galleries and all that stuff. So just
think of it like a gallery.
Yeah. Usually there's a sign up that says no photography. Just obey it. It says, it's pretty rude.
The artists put a lot of work into these, and you're effectively just taking it away. It's like the very, 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 very smallest form of pirating.
Yeah, which to be fair, Artist Alley, we are using copyrighted characters and all that, but as long as that silent agreement exists between us and content creators,
right,
that we're not really taking anything from them that they would have had otherwise.
Yeah, they're not making any money off of it, but also they don't have the idea. If they took the time to do every single idea that an artist had, they would spend so much money and not make enough back to make it worthwhile.
It's true. And besides saying, well, you're technically stealing this person's character, so I can be a rude asshole, that's not an argument.
Right.
Don't be a rude asshole and don't photograph the work. Please.
Right. So, step 1, don't photograph the people's artwork. Step the second, don't put your stuff on the table.
Yeah, probably, if for no other reason, you're gonna forget it.
Yeah.
We've had credit cards
Dr. Pepper
left.
bottle.
Dr. Pepper bottle, credit cards left, People left their cell phones.
I think someone left a sandwich one time.
Yes, somebody has left a sandwich. Some people have left all their purchases at our table. And by the time they get out there, they're walking out of the artist alley, they realize it's gone. They've been putting their stuff down on every table. They have to go back and check every table.
Right, and if it's your purchase at the table, we'll probably just hang on to it for you. But if it's like a bag or something, first of all, don't leave your trash there.
Please.
But you're also covering up the art that's there.
Yeah, and
you're blocking the way.
That's rude. I mean, if you leave something important on the table, of course we're going to hold it for you. If you leave your trash or your lunch on the table, I'm going to throw it out.
At you.
No. We usually don't notice. We usually don't notice until way after the person is gone. We'll be like, hey, has that sandwich always been there?
No, Judith, that's a bacon sandwich.
Ugh.
It's just bacon.
But
with bread that's bacon.
Talking about blocking the view, if you're taking a long time to look at the art, that's another good reason to not rest your stuff on there, because somebody else might want to come up and look at what's on the table, and while you're browsing, they can't see what's on the table because your bag of stuff is on top of it. Just set it down next to your feet, or just hold on to it. I mean, you're at a con. You shouldn't be putting stuff down in a hall.
Someone's gonna take that shit. And don't, like, it's fine if you want to talk with the artists and, you know, strike up a conversation, but try not to stand in front of everything for too long, because people are going to walk away.
Yeah, I've had this happen, and I love having conversations with people who come up, whether they're friends of ours or they just want to talk about shit. But like, there comes like a point, like a 5-minute mark, where I realize I'm still talking to this person. I don't want to stop, but they are standing directly in front of everything, and people aren't even looking at the table anymore.
Right, they see the people standing there like, oh, they're busy.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people who come to buy stuff, a lot of people who go to cons are pretty shy. And if they see someone if they see an artist talking to somebody already, they'll feel, you know, uncomfortable interrupting the conversation, especially if they can't even see the table.
Yeah.
So if you realize that your conversation with the artist is going on a little long, just step to the side a little bit and you can keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, just like check over your shoulder, be like, oh, there are people here. Let me just shimmy this way.
That way the artist can still make eye contact with other people who walk up, which makes them feel a little more comfortable with interrupting the conversation.
So let's see. Don't leave your shit around. Don't photograph the art. Don't stand in one place for too long. Don't try to haggle the artist.
Yeah, not unless we put up a sign that's like haggling is A-OK with a picture of a pirate on it or something.
We should do that.
Don't.
or maybe like haggling is not okay and put an angry pirate on there.
No, you can ask them, hey, it's Sunday, do you have any deals going? And if they say no, then just say, okay.
Yeah, don't be like, I'll give you $20 for these 3 prints. And be like, but each print is worth $10. No, but it's Sunday, so I'll try and cut you a deal. No, we are the ones
We're the ones cutting the
supposed
deals.
to cut you the deal.
So, yeah, that's kind of a presupposing of you, so don't be rude. Again, this is all about rudeness.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just respect the artist as a person and not somebody who is there to serve you the art that they spent hours on.
Yeah.
Possibly days.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the thing about the way people treat artists or dealers is the whole American mentality of I'm spending money on this. I deserve the royal treatment.
Right, which makes it really difficult if you're doing this for yourself. Makes it even more difficult if you're doing it for a company. But when you're self-employed and if you're an artist in an artist alley and you're doing this just for you, you can be, to that one customer, you're like, quit being a dick.
Yeah, please leave.
Because I know you can't guarantee that other people will show up, but you have the ability to throw that back in their face.
Yes.
I'm not saying you should, but I'm also not saying that people who are going to buy things should be allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, every artist there is self-employed, and they can throw you out of their table space if they want to.
Or we can call security.
That whole semi-toxic attitude of the customer is king doesn't have to exist in an artist alley or in a dealer's hall.
It really shouldn't exist.
No, I mean, it has its benefits, in certain situations, but it has its very, very toxic properties as well.
Yeah, there's a limit.
There is. But there really isn't, actually.
If you try to be the king for too long, someone's going to overthrow you.
At least in an individual setting. And when you're talking about a big corporation, they'll kiss your ass.
Yeah.
But don't get too used to that, because we're not going to. For one thing, don't act appalled at the prices. If you don't like a price, just say, okay, and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be like, oh, really?
Yeah, and I've had a few people, mostly parents, oddly enough,
Yeah.
balk at the price of a bookmark. Like, I charged $3 for a bookmark that I made myself, hand cut, laminated, there's some money goes into getting all that done. And they'll pick it up and be like, how much is this? $3. $3? Ugh.
Yeah, it's less expensive than if you went to Barnes & Noble and picked up a bookmark.
Just rip a piece of paper out of a notebook and stick it in a book if you're that appalled by a $3 bookmark.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, I do that too.
But I also have some really sweet bookmarks.
Yeah.
That I paid for.
Actually, you got some from me for free, but...
I got one bookmark. That was a gift, though. That was like a birthday gift.
It's true.
That's okay. If the artist wants to give you a gift, that's fine.
Yeah. But if you don't like the price, and you have every right not to like the price...
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. Just say, all right.
It's the one rule that we're trying to really enforce for this section of the... And in fact, for
all of the sections
as a whole, and just in life in general.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
But being a dick takes on many forms that some people don't realize is dickhood. So, we're here to specify still.
Yeah, okay, so for the artist alley and the dealer's hall, anywhere that you're going to buy something, don't be entitled. Or
Please.
don't act like you're entitled.
Nobody
that's
likes
the biggest that's the biggest way to come off as a dick.
Mm-hmm. But one way to be a little more positive is to come over and give positive comments about the artwork. If you can't afford it, that's fine. You can still come over and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I really like this work. You're very talented. You can even say, I can't afford anything right now, but I just had to give you the compliment. We like that.
Oh yeah, artists love that shit.
Some artists complain about it, but I think they're being dicks in that case. Somebody just wants to come over and say something nice. It's fine.
Let them say the nice thing.
Yeah. They don't have to give you money to get your approval.
No. I mean, it would be nice if you bought something, but as I've seen, artists don't really get a whole lot of praise for their work.
Yeah, it can be a little frustrating sometimes. We get taken for granted.
Yeah. You just don't get that recognition, especially if you're not a very popular artist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see something that you like, don't hesitate to be like, hey, I really like your work.
Yeah, you'll leave most people feeling really good about themselves. And you might even get into a nice conversation. Happens a lot.
And you get their information, and then you become their friend, and you start talking online all the time, and then you
go to parties together.
That's basically how I ended up being friends with Judith and Natalie.
It doesn't happen every time.
No, but I'm very, very charismatic.
Yes, don't start stalking people, please.
No, God, no.
Oh yeah, and the last thing I was going to say is, on the note of comments, if you pass by somebody's artwork and it has a character or a show in it that you don't like, not the work itself, but a character or a show that you don't like.
Right, I hate that ship.
Shut up. Just keep walking. Like, I had some guy walk over to me and be like, I don't know why so many people like Steven Universe. I've never watched it, but I think it's a really bad show. And all I could do, because he wouldn't go away, he just kept standing there and trash talking it, was say, well, I like it. I think it's good.
How dare you?
And you put the artist in a very awkward position where they feel insulted, but maybe they're really not. Should they say anything? Should they defend the show? It's just rude.
It is. I mean, if you don't like the ship, if you don't like the character, that's your prerogative. You can like and dislike things.
You can talk about that with your friends.
However, don't be a dick. Now, looking at the sound wave for that is actually pretty cool. Because you can see each emphasis.
Is it dick shaped?
It is dick shaped. It's a really awkward dick shape, but it's a dick
That's
shape.
Perfect. That's pretty much all I have to say about Artist Alley. Is there anything to add on there for dealers?
Well, dealers are a little different because they didn't create anything that they're selling there, unless you have an artist who's in the dealer's hall for whatever reason.
Which happens.
But with dealers, they're not allowed to change the prices unless, in my case, it's a family business, so we can do that. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at big name companies, and they can't change the prices, and it's not their fault. They're basically babysitting the merchandise.
Okay.
So all of the stuff that we said about Artist Alley applies here as well, but it's not the same. It's a different dynamic. It's the same aspects. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, personally, I don't use the dealer's hall that much because you can find everything online now.
Right.
And the prices are better online. But, I still ask sometimes, how much is this? And the answer is exorbitantly much more than you would pay online. And I don't tell them, oh, well, fuck you. I say, thank you, and walk away.
Yeah. That's basically the key phrase. Thank you, and then leave.
They're just trying to make a living. If they're doing it wrong, then that's not your business.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
That's the thing about being the consumer. You don't have to consume from them specifically.
You don't have to commit to anything.
That's right.
Not until that money hits that other person's hand.
Then you're committed for life.
Oh, yeah,
you are now married to that booth.
To that gorgeous Bishoujo figure.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how con dating works.
Casually looking up at my Power Rangers figure.
Yeah, mine are all above my head at the top of the bookshelf. I should have said body pillow. That would have been a funnier line.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Oh,
Why
man.
Oh.
Missed opportunities. By the way, don't walk around a con with a body pillow.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It's really creepy. Nobody...
I mean, buy the body pillow if you want. You can do that, but just...
Then bring it back to the hotel room and let that be that.
Unless you don't have a hotel room, in which case you're boned.
Yeah. Then
like your body pillow. Ho! Oh! Stuck the landing! There we go.
I'm laughing at how lame that was. Not at anything else.
Shut up, I'm funny.
Do you want to move on to general or panel
I think we'll leave general for the very end as like a big wrap-up kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
So, panels.
You're probably going to go to at least one.
Unless you're at Otakon and you can't get into any of them.
Because the line is 2 hours long for every single thing, including the history of anime teacup painting.
Yeah.
Like the most obscure thing, you're going to have to wait.
With a population of like 20,000 people, it's not surprising.
Not at all. You can read about managing panel lines at con survival guides, but I don't want to talk about that because it gives me a headache just thinking about it.
So when you're in the panel and you're sitting there and you're listening to the person talk about uncomfortable questions and answers of Pokemon World.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds like a panel that I would absolutely do.
That sounds almost like one that I've written.
Almost, kind of like the history of Nintendo one that I did. That's a story for another time.
Yep.
So you're listening to the people talk about the whatever panel that you're in. Unless they specifically say, does anyone have a question or comment?
Keep your hand down.
Keep your hand down. They're not interested in answering questions at that time. They're going through the panel, and usually they'll leave like 5 or 10 minutes at the end for questions.
Yeah.
But panels are usually, from my experience, they're the people really wanting to talk about the thing that interests them.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all this research, and they do all of the fact-checking and set up the beautiful PowerPoint presentation, or just throw a bunch of pictures together like I do. And yeah, I'm sorry. They really want to talk to you or talk at you about what they're really interested in.
And you're there to listen.
Yeah, you're there to listen. Think of it like you're watching a TV program or a radio show. You can't really comment back during those. You could talk to your friend and be like, "Hey, man, this is totally barnacles," and I really wish that this was like a more visual thing so I could put that picture up. But I mean, be quiet about it.
Yeah.
But the idea is, don't try to get your opinion known in something that really doesn't have anything to do with you.
Don't try and be part of the panel.
Yeah.
Like, not unless you're specifically asked. And you might be at some points. But wait until that moment. You know, if it's a panelist who's got a lot of experience, then they've got a flow going. They know how this goes. They're just going to ignore you. And if it's a new panelist, they're going to be nervous. They're not going to get things out as quite as fluidly as they wanted. They might run out of time because you kept interrupting, and they were too afraid of being rude to you.
Yeah, they felt the need to be like, "Oh yeah, you have something you need to comment with," and you're like, "Well, I think."
Yeah, and at that point,
thing here.
You have to think about the rest of the audience too. They didn't come to listen to you.
No, of course not. I mean, if you wanted to make your own panel, do it next year.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to submit a panel.
Yeah, it's not as easy to get accepted. You got to be awesome.
Or to perform the panel.
Oh yeah, performing is not easy. Even for people who have practiced this for years like us.
Yeah. But if you really feel that passionate, submit your own. Don't, inject yourself into someone else's.
And you know what? Doing panels is fun.
It is.
I just want to take an aside right now. I really like doing panels.
I am down with you on that.
I like being up there, and I like having people listen to what I have to say. I like being able to influence the thoughts of other people by, making the logical connections and pointing them out to people.
Yeah, and it's an outlet for all the reading and research and discussion we've already had about whatever topic it is.
And it can be really satisfying if people liked your panel.
Yeah.
Judith and I, we like to do uncomfortable question and answers about Pokemon. Because there's a lot of things in Pokemon that are just, they make you stop and go, wait, what?
Yeah, like Cubone wears the skull of its dead mother. Do all Cubone mothers die upon giving birth?
What about the breeding center? Where do they get the skulls from?
What even goes on there?
Why are all of these ghost Pokemon dead people?
Why are ghost Pokemon? Why do they do anything?
Yeah,
Almost all of their Pokedex entries are creepy as fuck.
It's a lot of that kind of thing. And the last time we were at Kineticon, we did this panel, and someone asked about the concept of legendary Pokemon and equating them to gods, because a lot of people do that in the games, because they're basically manifestations of
concepts.
Whatever natural occurrence.
Yeah.
And I got off the stage and I was walking around the place back and forth explaining my view on it. And apparently enough people thought that it was a really great idea, because when I stopped at the end to breathe and be like, okay, you did it, just go to the next question, everyone started applauding.
Yeah, it was a great impromptu moment.
That was awesome. That made all of that talk and all of that nervous sweat worthwhile.
You didn't seem nervous at all.
Oh, I'm really good at pretending.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I walk around.
Walking around was good, though. It got people to keep on following you with their faces and all that.
Yeah. And, I mean, it gets me out there to have other people ask questions so that... And you get to seem like the authority figure.
Yeah, I like that. That's my favorite part of you walking around. I get to stay on top of the tower.
Yep.
But anyway, it's a great community experience if you let the whole community share it evenly as they were meant to, and you don't try and hog the spotlight for yourself. You don't go to a panel so that it can be about you. That's kind of weird. Who would do that?
It's not about you. Try to limit your questions to, half a minute if you can. I mean, that's still a really long time, but...
A lot of panel etiquette revolves around question asking.
Don't ask more than one question.
Please.
Don't start your question with, I have a 2-part question.
Yeah,
or a 3-part question. I have a 5-page dissertation that I need to...
A lot of people say that. They'll start their question with the disclaimer, I actually have 2 questions, and we'll say, I'm sorry, you only get one.
Right.
Because you're stealing time from somebody else, and you're not more important than that other person.
Right. Everyone in this panel hall, or room, whatever you want to call it, they're there to share in the knowledge of being total fucking nerds.
Yeah.
And that's great. We love that. What we don't love is the dick measuring contest.
Please. And just think, for every extra question you ask, another person has lost any chance to ask a question at all.
That's right.
That's not nice. This is especially true for guest panels, like
oh my god,
where they come to see somebody famous or somebody who's really big in the industry.
The nostalgia critic specifically.
I've never been to one of his Q&As except when I was staffing the room.
Okay, so my parents came to Kineticon last year, and because my mom actually just got into the nostalgia critic videos. And so I'm like, he's gonna be here doing a panel. Do you want to go see it? And she said yes, and I sent her to the panel. And as it was, 90% of the questions were, are you going to review this? I think you should review this. These guys have plans. They already know what they're doing.
Yeah. They've written it down.
Don't ask questions like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Don't ask stupid questions. There is such a thing as a stupid question at a panel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You need to stop yourself before you raise your hand, before you get in that question line and think, is this a good question? Who else wants to hear me ask this question? Do only I want to know the answer to this question? If the answer to that is yes, don't ask it.
And believe me, we keep track of you.
Yep.
I still remember a couple of people who go to our panels, like, they continuously come to our panels for whatever reason. Like, I'm a dick to people at these panels.
Well, they're constantly trying to interrupt us. They always say they have more than one question. Their questions are always kind of really ridiculous. Like, they ask us when the next Pokemon game is coming out. How are we going to know that?
I don't know. My dad doesn't work at Nintendo.
And even if he did,
that's not something I'm allowed to talk about.
Exactly.
I mean, unless I specifically work at this place and have been given permission by everyone in charge, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you.
Studio Wit, the studio who makes Attack on Titan and Rolling Girls and a couple of other things, they were at SakuraCon this year, and I watched a transcript of their panel and how it ended with the Q&A. Interestingly enough, all the people who asked questions about Rolling Girls, which is a little more of a indie kind of thing by comparison, and didn't do so great. But they had questions because they had a female director. She was a brand new director. They had a lot of things like, what influenced this character? What influenced your storytelling? Like, how did you get to the position you are? Interesting questions about the process.
Those are great questions.
Yeah. All the people who asked questions about Attack on Titan were, when is Season 2 coming out? Can you do an impression of this character? Who do you think would be a boyfriend of this other character? Really stupid questions. Those are really stupid questions.
That doesn't belong at this panel.
They can't tell you when Season 2 is coming out. Not if it hasn't been officially announced.
Exactly. I had to keep quiet about the Powerpuff Girls thing until recently.
Yeah, me too, but let's not get distracted with that.
Yeah, that's
we know someone on the inside.
Yes. But that's for another time. Maybe we'll do a Powerpuff Girl panel. Or, we might do a remake/reboot podcast.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Did you hear Reboot got rebooted?
I did! I'm so happy!
I hope they still animate it looking all shitty. That would be hilarious.
Oh my god. Can you imagine if they just, like with the Banjo-Kazooie new game that's coming out and it has the N64 graphic mode?
Yeah.
You just watch it like that old 90s CG.
It should be like a DVD extra for the new reboot.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. A lot of extra work, but hilarious.
Yeah. But anyway, in production,
right.
When something has not been officially unveiled, people working on that project may not share that information. They will lose their jobs. They will get sued up their asses. And you should know that.
So, in conclusion, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Ooh,
seriously.
Wow, you can see the emphasis on the K in that one. There's like a pause between the D and K. Sorry, I really like the way the waveforms look. I'm watching it scroll by as we record.
Our poor listeners can't see the beautiful wavelengths that you're creating with their awkward dip shapes. Maybe you could take a screen cap and leave it up as the image for this video.
Huh, that might actually be a terrible idea.
And draw an arrow on it that says awkward
this says dick.
Yeah.
I've actually seen some really cool necklaces where they take the waveforms of people saying something, like for weddings specifically, it says like I do, and that would be the
Oh, that's kind of a cool idea.
Right? Like, they'll make the waveform.
Yo, I love creative stuff like that. That's
Yeah, it's super cool.
turning
And
audio into a visual.
And totally not what we're talking about.
No, but maybe people will Google stuff, learn
And
something new.
yeah, and totally mention that it was us who sent them there, and they'll be like, "What the? Who are these people?"
Go listen to this podcast. They totally told me to buy this necklace.
Okay, so we talked about
another thing that one more thing
sorry.
Scott says about panels is not to play the Woo game. If any of you have ever been to Rim and Scott's Geek Nights panels,
yeah, Geek Nights panels, Nostalgia Crit, anyone who's really like kind of big name type deal, they're gonna get this kind of thing a lot.
yeah, and I don't mind the Woo game so much depending on the panel, but sometimes I can see how it's annoying. That's when a slide featuring something that you like or recognize pops up on the screen and you all go woo,
like when Rim did his Five Nights at Freddy's thing.
Yeah,
and he had the panel from Fist of the North Star.
Everybody went woo.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh my god, he said the thing.
It's really hard for some people to control themselves because they're all excited they're at a con and they just woo, but some panelists don't like that.
It's understandable. You get the adrenaline going. You're somewhere really cool.
Yeah, especially if it's like a funny panel, then fine, just make the noise, laugh at stuff. But
yeah,
if you're
sorry, go ahead.
If you're supposed to be listening, it takes precious seconds off of the very limited time they have to present when they have to wait for you to be quiet.
I mean, we've done panels where we're like, who likes this thing? And woo!
Then it's fine, because we're encouraging you.
Yeah, do that. That's fine.
We're being bad influences.
Unless the panelist gives you the cue, just shut up and listen.
That one's not such a big grievance, but some panelists really don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was don't ask stupid questions. Don't try to take up more time than you're worth.
That is the worst.
Don't interrupt the panel.
That's the worst. Don't do that.
All right, so Artist Alley, panels.
Let's just go on to general behavior.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that encapsulates your convention experience as a whole.
Which will involve interacting with other human beings. Sorry.
I don't
That's
wanna.
part of the experience. Get out there.
No.
Get out there. Get in the shower first.
You can't make me.
Time to take a bath, because I know every list is going to have this on there, and it still should. You should bathe.
Absolutely.
Please. We can smell you. I know you get to a point where you can't smell yourself anymore, but we can.
Yeah, hygiene is such a huge deal at conventions like these because it could actually lead to serious illness.
Yes. Has
Convention
anyone
bugs
ever
are
heard
a thing.
Yeah, conpox.
That's a real thing.
It happens because people don't keep clean or because people go in sick and don't wash their hands. It takes a few extra seconds to wash your hands. It takes a few extra minutes to take a shower.
Vaccinate your fucking kids.
But that's a totally different topic.
I don't know. I think it applies here.
Yeah, but most of the con-goers don't have kids and are not yet full-grown adults.
Unless the con-goers are their parents with their kids.
Okay, true enough. Vaccinate your kids.
Yeah.
You dumbass.
So yeah, try to be clean. Don't be gross.
Everybody's gonna be all squished together in a line, or in a line.
Or in another line.
And whoever the poor soul is trapped next to you, you're gonna make that next 3 hours of their life ultra miserable.
And no one wants that.
Yeah, nobody.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, not bathing is a key sign of being that guy, and you really don't wanna.
Don't want to bathe or don't want to be that guy?
You don't want to be that guy!
Some people want to be that guy.
They don't know it.
Don't be that guy.
What else do we got then?
So when you're at a convention, there's bound to be at least one staff member there.
Mm-hmm.
If there are more, that's great.
Yeah, hopefully there's more than one.
The staff are going to be dealing with people all day long.
For 3 days.
Whether it's security, whether they're panels, whether they're supposed to be in charge of the artist alley, whatever. They're gonna be dealing with people all day long. And, individual people are great. Persons are great. People are not.
No.
A large crowd of people is going to end up having a number of cases where there's a dick.
Yep, or where they all amass into one unwitting dick.
One giant, flaccid, gross, disgusting dick.
And those staff members have to stand next to that dick and make sure it doesn't flop too far out of the guardrail area. It's unpleasant. Or it can be unpleasant.
So if you want to interact with a staff member, do it respectfully. They're volunteering. They're not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
They're doing this because they really like the convention. They're doing this because they really want it to go well. They're doing it because Kineticon is best con. That's why I staff.
I knew that was coming in at some point.
It had to. But don't be rude to the staff members. Whether there's a miscommunication of some kind and they don't know all the answers, that's not their fault entirely. I mean,
Yeah.
It can be partly their fault, but you don't need to be a dick about it. We should actually have a tally about how many times we say dick in this.
We'll go back and count it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to it anyway.
Some staff members can be jerks. I know that.
Oh, yeah. We're not
So
saying that the
I know
staff
some people are
members-
thinking that.
We're not saying the staff members are the holy guards of whatever.
No. Some are power hungry, bitchy, controlling, condescending, pompous assholes.
Right.
But you shouldn't be a dick first.
Right. Don't be a dick first.
That's the important thing.
The odds are they've had to deal with 80 people just like you in the last hour.
Who've probably been asking a bunch of stupid questions and talking to them like they're dirt.
Yeah. They're basically employees of the convention, but they don't get paid.
Yeah, which can make anybody a little grumpy after
Yeah.
a while.
So, be respectful. Don't be a dick. There it is again.
Yeah, if they're jerks, you go and report them or just walk away. You don't have to deal with that. But really, you don't fire the first shot.
And if you're a staff member, we understand how hard it is to be a staff member.
Totally.
But try not to take it out on the people who go to the convention, because they're going to talk about you.
Yeah, and don't let the staffing go to your head. You've become a stereotype at that point.
Oh, yeah, no one likes that. No one likes the dick staff.
Yeah. Don't be a dick!
Yep. I swear, I'm going to put a tally at the bottom of the description. if
you
anyone's
really do
interested.
That, if you really do that, then you deserve extra credit.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing it. At the bottom of the description, there's going to be a dick tally, including that one just now.
Speaking of that...
The dick tally?
Yeah. We're going to talk about more people who are dicks. That's where I was going.
Oh, okay.
Conventions used to be considered kind of a sausage fest, and that is absolutely not the case anymore. So, some guys have had to learn a little bit about Coed behavior. Like not walking up and touching somebody because they're in a costume
does
that
not
you like.
equal consent.
Exactly.
I have that specifically on my list.
I know this can go both ways, and ladies can get all over guys, but trust me, it's a bigger problem the other way around. You shouldn't do it either way.
If you see somebody who's dressed up as your favorite cosplayer, that's really cool. Be like, hey, I love your costume. I love that character. Can I take a picture? On the other hand, you can be really creepy and be like, oh my god, this character is so great. Please step on me.
Actually seen that happen.
Yeah, someone cosplaying as Satsuki from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, guy with a shoe fetish.
And he's like, can you step on me for this picture? And I could very clearly see she was uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, and how old was she?
It's hard to tell.
That's another thing. Like, you have these awkward come-ons, you put your hands on somebody, you kind of ask them to take a picture that plays into your fetish. They could be 15 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Or younger.
Mean, puberty is that weird time where people grow at weird rates, and someone who's 15 could look like they're 20, and vice versa, I guess, but...
And that'll suck for you, but not as much as it'll suck for her.
Oh yeah, it'll be traumatizing. Can't even tell you how many horror stories I've read.
Basically, unless you're defending yourself and somebody's coming up to punch you, don't put your hands on someone.
Yeah. Just don't touch people.
Or if they're falling and you're catching them if they're tripping, then you can put your hands on them for a second. But no other real reason.
Yeah, just keep your hands to yourself. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
I was once at a convention where a friend of mine, this guy, clearly thought she was really hot and decided he would hang out with us, and she put up with him, but he kept saying some really weird stuff. One of which that I remember the most is, "I keep having the urge to bite you."
What?
Yeah, remember, this is a total stranger who she had known for a few minutes. Just kept on saying that, and she wouldn't let him come near her. She was too nice to say go away, which was unfortunate.
Ugh.
But he said that more than once.
That's really creepy.
It's not okay to suddenly start saying these things because you're at a convention.
No. I mean, you can try and be friends, but that's a line that does not need to be crossed.
Yeah, this kind of thing happens a lot, and people are psyched, and they're all hyped up on anime or games, and they're acting a little crazy. You know, you can act a little weird. We're all here to act a little weird, but you aren't suddenly an anime character.
No.
You can't suddenly get away with stuff that you see in the games and the cartoons and the whatnot.
Thank you, Judith Cosby.
It's still really weird. It's still gonna creep people out.
Absolutely. I mean, that's gross.
That still happens plenty. Maybe not that specific line.
I just have the urge to bite you.
All right.
That's how I'm going to imagine the story from now on.
Thank you for that image.
You are so welcome.
But, you know, people will run up to strangers and glomp them. You're probably going to make that person uncomfortable.
I have noticed that a lot of conventions have made that a rule. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why they banned those yaoi paddles.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing those all the time.
Every convention pretty much has banned those because people wouldn't stop spanking strangers.
If you consent to it, that's great. That's your own deal. But
a total stranger probably won't.
Don't just assume that because they're there in costume that they're going to be like, yeah, I totally want you to bite me. Oh, baby, yeah, please.
Yeah, and totally, like, just randomly screaming very shrilly and flailing around like they do in cartoons and stuff is going to be annoying no matter where you are.
Ugh.
It's not suddenly funny now that you're at a con, and it's actually kind of disruptive, and you're probably going to do it right in somebody's ear.
Yeah,
probably
man.
Someone you don't know.
I've been deafened before.
I have too. It's not fun, and I always shoot this person a death glare. They don't notice because they're just bouncing off to the next thing.
Yeah, so what you got to do is suplex.
What?
Just grab them and go, no! Although that absolutely ties into the don't touch people thing.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as touching somebody.
I guess.
Pretty much.
But they deserved it. No. Don't do it anyway. Even if you think someone absolutely deserves it, odds are they don't.
Odds are.
I mean, just don't be a dick. Ding.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I put in a ding noise every time?
That would get a little bit annoying, dude.
It's like that South Park episode.
Which one?
The one where they had a shit counter.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
So, let's see. Don't touch the cosplayers. Don't touch anybody. Be hygienic. Be nice to the staff, or at least respect the staff.
Don't be a creeper.
Don't be a creeper.
Don't say weird, creepy things, or do weird, crazy, creepy things that you see people do in anime.
It's not the same.
It's not. It's not life. It's just entertainment. And it's not entertaining when somebody does it in life.
So, don't do it.
Yep. Also, don't go to the rave. But that's more of a survival tip.
Yeah, don't bother.
If you do go to the rave, please don't do any of the things we just said not to do. It doesn't suddenly become a place where you can touch 15-year-old ass, and that has happened way too many times too.
Your sister had a problem with that once, if I remember.
Well, that was why I went with her, to make sure that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
What happened was somebody actually came on to me and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and tried to wedge himself between us while we were dancing.
Oh yeah, girl sandwich.
Yeah, we immediately walked away. It was gross as fuck. Yeah, guys, don't do that, please. Just don't. It's not...
Stay in your own lane.
The rules of normal social conduct that don't involve being rapey and gross still apply while you're at the weird rave.
Yeah, this is not some magical purge area where everything is allowed.
Yeah, and ladies, be extra guarded.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
I mean, these guys are here in mass numbers, and they're all gross, and you don't want anything to deal with them.
Yeah, and if you're a decent, not all men kind of person who doesn't do this kind of thing, good for you.
Yes, we like you. Feel free to come to our panels and shake our hands. As long as you're clean.
Yeah. Please don't get us sick.
Yeah.
somebody's gonna come with, like, the flu on purpose now. They're gonna cough right into their hand and then they're gonna shake our hands.
That sounds like some sort of assassination the president attack.
What, all they have to do is not bathe for a while, and then go to a con, and then see one of our panels and talk through the whole thing, and then touch us. And break every single rule, and then we'll pay for it.
Well, I mean, if they start doing that whole talk through the whole panel, we're just not going to have anything to do with you.
Oh yeah, good point.
If you're respectful,
cut that off.
If you're respectful, then you absolutely get that assassination attempt. This got weird.
Yeah, you get to shoot off one of my tentacles for every question you get right.
Oh my god, I love that show. I think I'm all caught up.
I'm not, because Natalie won't sit down and watch it with me. We've been watching Blood Blockade Battlefront instead.
Oh, okay.
But that one, we're all caught up on that one, so we can probably move on now. We're talking about Assassination Classroom, by the way.
Which is one of the anime I would absolutely recommend.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that once season 1 wraps up, because there is a season 2.
Yes, I'm so happy.
There will be. They actually officially announced it, so you don't need to ask anybody.
Yeah.
At a panel if there's a season 2.
Nice tie-in.
Yeah. See how I did that?
Yes, you are very clever.
Super savvy.
All right, so don't touch people. Don't be weird. Be clean. Respect the staffers. Respect the panelists. Respect people in general.
And check out some survival guides. Like Anime News Network just put out a really good one. Because those will help you stay sane.
Oh, yeah.
While our rules here will help you to keep other people sane.
And really, that's what we're going for here. We just want to make the convention circuit a better place to be.
We do. We want to make it more mature and more enjoyable for people who are younger and don't know better.
I mean, if you're going to your first convention, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you have no idea what's going on, and you just see a whole bunch of people being creepers, you're not going to want to do conventions ever again.
One bad experience can have some pretty bad consequences. Like, worst case scenario, there are the stories about a couple girls who have disappeared at conventions and then been found days later. Don't trust any strangers there, lady.
No, don't.
And don't check out Craigslist on a convention day. Unless you're just looking for entertainment's sake, then absolutely check out Craigslist on a convention day.
We may have to do that for Kineticon.
Look at the personals ads for the area that you're in. Don't answer any of them, obviously.
Just get a good laugh.
Yeah, I have to do that for Otakon.
That's gonna be hilarious.
And New York Comic Con too.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Anime Boston next year.
Yeah, one of the funniest ones was PonyCon, though.
Oh, of course. All the pony ones are hilarious.
I forgot where that was, but we checked the personals in the area, and they were like, just really want to do it with someone in a horse costume.
Yeah, they were just completely upfront about it.
You can come in your costume.
Man, ponies got weird, too.
Yeah. With some people.
With some people.
Not with every people.
But I think we've covered... Oh, wait. I want to cover one more thing.
Oh?
When you're going to a convention and you see something really cool, do not stop in the middle of the walking path.
Oh, yeah. If you're on a narrow path.
Or even just walking in general.
Especially if you're on a narrow path. Especially if you're in the dealer's room or the artist alley and you are in prime people blocking space. Don't stop. Pull over.
Just move over to the side. No one's going to be mad at you. But if you stop in the middle and you cause a 5-person pileup...
It causes so many traffic problems in a place that already had 1 billion.
It's not okay.
It's really not. And for that matter, don't take cosplay pictures in the artist alley or the dealer's room. Because that just causes the worst version of what we just talked about.
I mean, if there's enough space for you to move to the side...
You still probably shouldn't, because there probably won't be.
Just don't do it. Don't block up the traffic. That'll really slow down a convention for a lot of people.
Yeah, it'll make a lot of people just want to leave the dealer's room because they can't even walk.
I think that's... Other than that, I think that's all the things.
Yeah, there's probably more, but I think we covered the most important of the things.
Make sure you pick up your garbage.
And don't be a dick.
And don't be a dick.
Ding.
That said, this time next week, I believe you'll have gone through Anime Next. I'm
Yep.
going to be doing New Jersey Con.
Which nobody's heard of, but I hope you have a good time.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Judith.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about Anime Next, but it can't be a joint discussion.
No. We'll find something to talk about.
Yeah. But I hope everybody enjoys con season, and remember, we're going to be at Anime Next, we're going to be at Kineticon, and we're going to be at Otakon.
It's going to be super awesome. It's the best time of the year, to be completely honest.
I agree. I love it.
Oh man, if we could get onto West Coast panels or conventions too, that would be so great.
Yeah, that would involve flying in an airplane, though.
Oh, right, you don't like that.
I don't like that. It's dumb.
We'll knock you out before I put you
Oh,
on the
thanks! That sounds good and clean.
Well, I mean, just get like a sleeping pill.
Okay. Just right before the airport.
No,
Here, Judith, here's your coffee.
Get on the airplane, and then you take the sleeping pill.
I'll wake up in the carrying area where all the pets are.
Oh, well then you get to be with all the pets.
Yeah, they'll all be just as sad as I am.
But you'll be with all the pets.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong.
For now, we're going to stick with the East Coast, and I hope all of you who will be at conventions on that side of the country will come and see us.
And if you do, come say hi.
Yeah.
We like meeting people.
We
Mostly.
love meeting people. We loved talking about our panels right after they're finished.
Yeah.
Or talking about our art.
Come to the booths at the Artist Alley. We love to sell you stuff.
It's called Gay Breakfast. Really hard to forget that name.
Yeah, a lot of people keep
We
coming
also
back.
have a store envy.
Oh, right, that's a thing. I'll
Which
put
is
a link
also
to it.
called Gay Breakfast. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that in the description as well. So if you're interested in getting any of our art or coming to see any of our panels, don't hesitate. We love you.
We do.
Just don't be a dick.
And any of you come into Anime Next, I hope to see you there.